For the next step for our sun, we are going to be creating our little clips, our painted clips with words about that describe how we are on the inside. I've got kind, artistic, and thoughtful. So we've talked about how we are on the inside. We've got a word wall written. So you're going to be able to choose which words really stand out to you. We might have time to do more than one. We will see, depending on how much time we have. And if we do have time to do more than one, you'll just grab another one after you're done after you're done with your first clip. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to need a white paper. This will be your paper that makes sure that you don't get any paint on your desk. A gold Sharpie, a paintbrush, some paint. This is a watercolor paint, a special watercolor paint, so it's very liquidy, and your clip. You will be getting some paint on your fingers. You can see I've got some paint on my fingers already, and that's okay. It will wash off when you take a shower. All right, so we want to make sure that we're painting the entire thing. So if you look at this one, I've painted this side. I've painted the back side. I've painted the sides of the clip, and I've also painted right in here. I've paid special attention to get inside of the grooves of everything just to make sure that everything is nicely painted. So I want for you to be mindful of getting everything painted so that it looks really nice. So again, we're going to just be putting our paintbrush into our paint just a little bit. You want to always make sure that your paintbrush is not dripping all over the place. And you're going to start by painting the front of your clip. You don't need a lot of paint. You don't want this to be dripping all over the place. Make sure you're getting into the grooves. Go ahead and start. Take your time. Make sure that you're painting with a paint brush stroke that's going in one direction. I'm going to hold it up like that and paint the edges. I'm going to put a little bit more paint, and I'm going to paint the sides. You need to make sure that you paint everything with just a light coat of paint. It's important that you just use a little bit of paint, because if you use too much, then it won't be dry and you won't be able to write your words on your clip. So I'm just going to go ahead and set it down. You can do it however it feels most comfortable for you. Make sure you get into all the little nooks and crannies, all the little grooves. If you accidentally put too much paint on your clip, you can just spread it out. Just keep painting over it and spread it out. Do your best to get the entire thing so it looks really nice. All right, so my first clip is all done. I've got paint on the front, on the back, on the sides, and on the inside. So once that's done, I'm gonna lay it on its side. I'm gonna set it over there so that it can dry. Now, if you have time, if we have time to do another one, you've got to make sure that you clean your paintbrush really well before you move on to a new color. So what you need to do is with your water cup, you're going to take your paintbrush and you need to go up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm hitting the bottom of the container and I'm doing it very carefully. I'm a serious artist, not a silly artist. And I'm making sure that I get all of the paint off. And then I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna turn it around and I'm gonna check it to make sure that there's no paint on my brush. If it looks pretty clean, I'm gonna wipe the edges off to make sure my brush is not dripping. So on the edge, on the edge, on the edge. And my paintbrush is nice and clean now, so I can set it down and I would be ready to move on to a new color. The last step will be to, after your clip has dried, the last step will be to add our word right on to our clip. You can write the word on the front and on the back, or you can do one word on the front and a different word on the back. It's completely up to you. I actually wrote my word here. I wrote artistic and I started to kind of add some really funky little decorations right there. This one says kind and I've got some hearts on that one. So you're going to have a gold Sharpie. When you open your Sharpie, I want for you to make sure that you put the cap on the end so that it doesn't get lost. And in your very, very best handwriting, I want you to write your word right on this part of your clip. Remember, your word should not be super long because I wrote thoughtful right here and it was so long it barely fit. So we're going to write our word that describes who we are, our characteristics of what makes us each who we are, in your best handwriting. So I'm going to write on mine. And my word was long again. That's okay. And then start adding your little decorations. All right, so I wrote amazing on this side. And I'm gonna write on the other side a different characteristic. I'm gonna write in your best handwriting. That's supposed to say funny. Funny Sunny. All right. And once you are done with your marker, friends, I want for you to make sure that you put the cap on, and you're gonna know that your marker is closed when you hear that click. It's super important that you close it all the way, otherwise it's gonna dry out, and we don't want that. So put your cap on and listen for that click. Did you hear it? Listen one more time. There it is. Make sure you hear that click on your marker when you close it. All right, friends, make sure that when you're done with your paintbrush, you just drop it off in the sink. That is the directions for every time we finish with our paintbrush. And your gold Sharpie, please make sure that you put it back in the cup that it belongs in. Your cups, your paint cups, can go into the trash, and you will be leaving your clip on your paper. You leave your clip on your paper. All right, friends, have fun.